This is the story of the world-famous Comstock silver discoveries and the town of Virginia City. This old movie clip will be a good introduction for this video.
I just stopped in on you. For the gold, same as usual. I shovel tons of this no-good blue stuff to get just a little speck of gold. I always told you, Comstock, you're only wasting your time. I shoveled a whole mountain away last year, and all I got was enough to trade for some liquor. Virginia, if this muck I shoveled away was worth 2 bits a ton, I'd be a millionaire. Yeah. And when it's wet, it sticks like glue. And when it's dry as dust, it gets in your eyes and your nose and your ear. I bet I've had 100 ton of it. You know, if I could carry enough of this to make a respectable showing, I'd have it tested at the assay office. There's gold in it, but I fitted a human that works to get it out. That's just what they won't know until they shovel it. If we could only get a good test report, we might unload our claim on some greenhorn. Huh? That's just what I had in mind. Oh. Well, just so it won't be a total loss, let's call this a christening. I christen this here claim Virginia City. I can see it's going to be a big city, full of jackrabbits, sage hens, and rattlesnakes. Come on. We're starting bright and early tomorrow for that assay office in Sacramento. How much gold do you think she'll run to the town?
Just this other I'm testing. Have you got any more of it out there?
The whole place is reeking with it. It's everywhere. Your food, your eyes, under your nails.
Let me show you something. Now, give me that. You got any more of this?
I'd say I shoveled 1,000,000 tons of that right over my shoulder. I bet more than that in my food. Yes, we cursed that stuff day and night for 4 years.
Well, you better go right back and apologize to it. It's virgin silver. Runs about $3,000 a ton.
It was in 1859 that the first silver discovery was made public in an area of what is known today as Virginia City, Nevada. This discovery that started the largest land and silver rush in America was named after American miner Henry Comstock. This massive discovery became known around the world as the Comstock Lode. Thousands of men flocked to this area for a piece of the action and a chance to get rich. While the Comstock mines made many people fortunes, as you will hear, there were others who lost it all, including their lives. Initially, this area was overlooked because there was little gold, and most prospectors back then were more interested in gold. Many prospectors had been through this area on their way to California, as the gold rush was still a going concern there. 2 brothers who were prospectors, Ethan and Hosea Grosh, staked a claim in this area and did a little prospecting while on their way to California. While prospecting, Hosea injured his foot and got blood poisoning and died a short time later. His brother then left for California with another man and let Henry Comstock stay in the cabin and take care of the claim while they were away. However, Ethan and his partner would never return. While trekking to California, the 2 were caught in a snowstorm and got frostbite so bad that they lost limbs by amputation. Ethan died and his partner returned home. After hearing about these deaths, Henry claimed the cabin and the land as his own. Up until this time, there was just small groups of miners that hand-mined some of the creeks with rockers and small sluices, but that all changed with the discovery of a big silver strike. Within 5 years, there was 6 major silver discoveries. The first of these was the Ophir Bonanza, found in 1859. Two miners needing water for their rocker decided to dig a pit for getting water and ended up hitting a layer of rich black sand concentrates. Henry Comstock heard about this discovery and said that he had staked the property for grazing purposes and, after a few threats, managed to get himself into a deal with the ones who found the black sand. This became known as the famous Ophir discovery, where the ore was assayed at 3/4 silver and 1/4 gold. There was also the Gould and Curry Bonanza, which included 500 feet of the El Dorado outcrop and dipped into the Savage Bonanza. However, in 1866, the ore ran out. There was also the Savage Bonanza, which included this ore body along with a second deposit that was shared with the Hale and Norcross deposit. Then there was the Chalapodesi deposit, but in 1875 it was merged with the combination shaft. Other famous deposits were the Gold Hill Bonanza and Crown Point Belcher, which was discovered in 1870. The ore from this deposit had precious metal value, of which was 54% from gold and 46% from silver, but the ore only lasted 4 years before it ran out. In mining, there is always two things that are a hindrance. One is not having enough water, and the second is having too much. The Comstock area had both. On the surface, they had little water for things like running the town and the mines. Everything back then was steam-powered, and if you were going to make steam, you were going to need a lot of water. Creeks and wells couldn't keep up, so in 1872, a 12-inch water line was run for 7 miles into the mountains to the Washoe Valley. This pipeline could bring in 2.2 million gallons of water per day into the town and mines. Having too much water was also a problem, because as the mines went deeper, the tunnels were getting more and more water seeping in. There was water coming in from everywhere, and in some levels of the mines, the water seeping in was from hot springs in the mountain. This water was so hot it would boil an egg and scald a man, so eventually a long drain tunnel had to be built, as pumps could not keep up with the inflow of water. After 4 years and digging through solid rock for almost 4 miles, the Sutro Tunnel was built. This drain tunnel could drain up to 4 million gallons daily. Until 1870, everything that came into the town arrived on mule train, and it is said that at times the mule trains would be lined up 3 miles long, bringing supplies into town. About 80 million board feet of lumber was used each year for everything from buildings to underground timbers. Then in 1870 the railroad arrived and there was rail traffic to Carson City. Of course, none of these old mining town stories is complete without a fire of some kind, and on April 7, 1869, a fire broke out on the 800-foot level of the Yellow Jacket mine. As the fire burned, the wood timbers collapsed and poisonous gases escaped throughout the mine. 35 miners died that day. It is said that some of the mine sections that were sealed off remained hot for several years. Peak production from the Comstock occurred in 1877, where the mines produced over $14 million in gold and $21 million in silver that year. At one point, there were over 400 companies mining in and around this area. Mining started to decline in 1880, however some deep mining continued for several decades until the last pump was shut down in 1918. Mining picked up again in the 1930s after the federal government raised the price of gold from $20 to $35 per ounce in 1934. Now you are probably wondering, what became of Henry Comstock after all this time? Well, Henry sold his Ophir holdings for $11,000 and his half of the Spanish mine for $5,500. He then opened a dry goods store in Carson City, but having no business skills, he ended up losing all his money. He then went north to Idaho and Montana to prospect, where it is said he died in Montana from possible suicide. Today you can go to Virginia City and see the old town and tour the mines. This place is definitely going to be on my bucket list as places to visit. I hope you enjoyed this short story about Virginia City and the Comstock mines. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you more old lost mine stories.